today we're going to start about how to build we're going to talk about how to build a video strategy that scales. And I'm just going to mention a few things about StoryKit. I love to say that we are the #1 video tool for storytellers. And the reason I can say this is because I know there are loads of video tools if you just want to do some small animated stuff, or there are loads of very complicated tools if you want to do like films. But if you want to tell stories in social media, I don't know of any better tools. We came to life in spring 2018, so we're quite new, but we have over 400 customers. I often have to update this number. That's why I did the plus. And they use us on every department, like in marketing, in sales, in HR, in product, everywhere. We have users all over the world, which we're very happy about. And if you want some more inspiration, you can always join our Facebook group. It's called Video for Social Media, and it's hosted by Heidi, who is also in this webinar with us today. We try to give out tips and tricks and inspiration, and also tell stuff about the tool, of course, since, hey, we're marketers. And me then, well, I'm the journalist that turned marketer. I've worked as a storyteller or a journalist most of my time. But when I heard of this company, it was so attractive that I just needed to turn over to the marketing side, which is really good because storytelling and marketing is a great combination. Please connect. I love to connect with people. So email me, tweet me. I'm very inactive on Twitter, so don't expect things from me there, but I'm quite active on LinkedIn, so please connect. So let's start off this. You all know that social media has changed stuff in our world. That's like the most stupid things to say ever, but it has really, really changed the workday for every marketer. And I'm going to illustrate this shift with a man who is my father, Boris Ekman. He's the retired CMO of the shipping company Viking Line here in the Nordics. He worked with marketing almost all his life. And I'm going to illustrate it with myself. I'm the stressed out marketing director at this SaaS company, StoryKit. And as I said, he worked as a marketer for almost all his life. He knows everything there is to know about marketing, but I still occasionally get these messages on Facebook. So this is in Swedish, so I translated it. He says, "Your father's heart swells with pride again, but I still have some difficulties as I try to explain to people what you're doing at StoryKit." And this is quite interesting. I'm a marketer. He was a marketer for how many years? And he still doesn't get what I'm doing. And I know that there are a lot of things that are different in what we're doing. I mean, I work at a completely digital company with a SaaS product. There weren't any SaaS products there for a couple of years ago. And he worked with something really, really concrete, a shipping company. But the most important thing is that the way we communicate has changed entirely. So let's look at that. As you can see, he worked if you sum these things up, he worked very proactively in a few big channels with few ad formats. He worked with campaigns and agencies, and he made ads, and he had a really high cost per unit. You know, this type of old way to do marketing. That's the way that many companies still do marketing because they have to. But this was the only way to do marketing a couple of years ago. You did the big, expensive campaigns that you worked through for years. I mean, he knew the summer before what they were going to say the summer after because they needed to have that time frame. My work is completely different. I have no idea what I'm going to say next month. I can't even plan the whole year because I work so reactively. I work in so many small channels. I have an abundance of ad formats that I have to keep going. I am always on. I never sleep. We do everything in-house almost. I mean, my father never sat down and made a video. I make videos every day. And when I do stories, when I tell stories, I do make ads, but mostly I do content. And I also have a very, very low cost per unit. This means that I work faster. I work not more because he worked a lot, but the big difference here is that his biggest risk was being wrong. I mean, if he had worked for a year with a campaign and it failed, that was a big, big loss. My biggest risk is not doing enough. Because it doesn't matter if 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 of my campaigns fail, they do every day. Or if 1 and 2 or 3 or 10 of my posts fail, because they do. That's a reason for me to learn. It's a possibility for me to move further. But if I don't do enough things on social and in this fast moving digital world, nothing will happen. So this goes for all social activities. But the interesting thing is that most people who work in marketing knows this for social overall, but we still create video for that old world. We still believe that video has to be this, the expensive campaigns that you worked for years and you've got an agency and it makes a boom all over the world. Or you need a big team, a makeup artist and a camera guy and someone who writes the scripts. Or at least you need someone who sits in a very dark editing room for weeks and does something magical that no one understands, and out comes a video that is so amazing and everyone loves it. Or at least you think that you have to be on top of everything and do it yourself and be an influencer and film yourself and be funny and you have to go on TikTok. One of these things you have to do. That's what everyone thinks. But for companies, for most companies and most stories, video should look like this. So it's the script-driven, very simple format that just makes the viewers happy. It's easy to watch, it's easy to create if you have the right tool, but it's not the old type of video. Why is this? Well, because something fundamental has changed in the way that we consume video. And this is it, that 80 to 90% of all video views happen without sound. And this is a number that I've taken from Facebook, but it's also a number that we have seen ourselves. It's almost a higher number for us, like over 90% of all our video views happen without sound. And now you're going to say, no, not on YouTube, not on TikTok. And that's true, because there are so many social channels where sound does play a part, but the most viral and the most proficient of these videos often end up on Facebook anyway. They end up on LinkedIn anyway. And you still watch, like half of the viewers will still watch your video without sound. So it's too many to not say, yeah. So that's why Facebook has made this kind of slogan that I really like, that you should, when you do video, design for sound off, but delight with sound on. And what does this mean? Well, it means that the most important factor for a successful video on social media today is the script. And this means that we have a new video pro in town, and it's the person who can write. It's me. It's the old journalist who hadn't touched a video editing program because I couldn't understand them. My brain just blew up when I had to make things on a timeline. But I know how to write a good script. And this was the challenge that we saw companies everywhere having. We need to produce more video more efficiently with another type of competence. So our solution was to build a script-based video tool where you can take any script that you have, and you have an AI that does all the video stuff, and the end result is video creation without editing. So this is Oliver Dursten from Gridlines, who I made a really fun case with. It was great. Well, working with video like this, there are other tools out there. I will admit that. But working with video like this solves a lot of problems. You don't need to have video specialists. It's really easy to add users from your organization. I talked a couple of days ago with a client who said, I have probably onboarded 100 people in our organization on your tool. That's like, try to do that with After Effects. You don't need to worry about images or clips. First of all, the script will always be more important. We say to people that they should write the script first, render a video with a black background and the script in white text. If that works, then you can just put something there to delight. And also, when you need images or videos, you can always use the built-in stock libraries. You don't have to use that expensive equipment because you can use your phone as a camera if you need one. And you work in the cloud. One of the things I remember from working with people who do editing in these heavy programs like Adobe and After Effects and those, uh, was that you can see them play ping pong for half a day. And you were like, don't you have work to do? And they would say, well, my computer is rendering. So that's not a problem anymore because it happens in the cloud. It's quick and easy, regardless if you're a beginner or a pro. It's easy to maintain high quality. It's easy to be brand safe, collaborating, spread, reuse, translate, or localize, which is important for your video strategy. And also, you don't have to worry as much about accessibility, which is a big problem for many organizations today that wants to work with accessible video, because the text is already there and you can make the voiceover automatically. So let's go on to how to think about video in 2021. If you don't want to talk the old way, let's just. So here is all your content. All of you are doing a lot of content, I know it. And usually most companies make some kind of hero content. This is the big campaign. This is the one thing that they're counting on for this year. This is the My Father's Old campaign, but in this day. And then you have a whole bunch of other content. It might be press releases or blog posts or product releases or whatever, loads of other content. And usually people still make videos of the hero content because they spend so much money and so much time on it. Of course, we need a video, often a video. And this is usually still text because SEO, it's easy, it's spreadable, it's reusable, all of those things. But our recommendation is that you should keep doing the hero content. If you want to win prizes or you want to do the big campaigns, still do that. But remember to start doing all other content in video too. So all your content should be video. So let's turn this upside down and create a funnel. You all know this. Because most people think that video is just something for the top of funnel activities. It's good for branding. It's good for people getting to know you. And yeah, these are examples from my own funnel. So yeah, we use video for this. We do, especially Haley makes a lot of amazing videos like this, like 7 video ideas for your marketing. Can you change someone's opinion online? You know, all the top of funnel stories that you want to make. But we also use video in the middle of the funnel. It's giving out ebooks. It's download our templates or sign up for the webinars. You are in the middle of our funnel. Haha. And we also use it for bottom of funnel. Want a free demo of StoryKit? Big sale, video sale right now. All those messages we also do in video. Because the secret when you publish video in social channel is more. More is always more. You shouldn't be publishing a lot of videos. You should be publishing heaps of videos. Many of our customers increase their video production with about 400% when they start using StoryKit, which is a lot. But they still create too little video. And we still create too little video. Even if we try to give at least 1 out per day, we should do more. So why is the quantity so important? Why am I talking so much about this? Well, first of all, that's how social works. Remember these two? What was my biggest risk? It was not doing. It was not publishing. That's how social works. So it's also important for visibility, out of sight, out of mind. And I read an interesting article that HubSpot made a couple of months ago, where they tried to prove that you shouldn't be doing so much on social. This isn't just video, it's all social posts, but it goes for video too. So they counted how many people that read your things if you published just 1 to 5 articles per month or posts per month. or if you published more than 61 posts per month. And as you can see, that number declines. So what they said was do less, but better. But the thing is, if you count on these numbers, it says that if you give out 5 articles a month and it gets 100 clicks, which is what they got here, you get 500 clicks a month. That's good. But if you publish 61 articles and you get just 30 clicks per article, you will still get 1,830 clicks. And why is that? Because more is more. People see your stuff, they click. The numbers might sink, but since you publish more, it's better. No, don't publish bad things, but publish more good things. The quantity of publishing video is also, or anything on social, is also to learn. Because the thing is on social that you will never learn what your target audience want to learn from you before you've tried. You can read every white paper out there and read about best practices and look at other marketers and try to do the same thing, but you will never learn what your target audience wants from you before you've tried and failed and tried and succeeded and so forth. Or as our VP of product used to say it, the only way to learn how to reach out in this swarm of content is to try 1,000 different ways and do it 1,000 times. It's the only way. And also another thing with social is when you finally learned what your audience wants, it has changed. So you always have to relearn. Also, you need to be able to reach different target audiences. Different target audiences need different things. And I'll get back to that because now it's time to start creating this video strategy. So the first thing you need to do is to find your target audience. And every marketer in here goes, yeah, I know. But the thing is with video, you have to shrink it. You can't just go to your everyday target audience. You need to shrink it. Let me show you why. So these are all the people you might want to reach. You have a story and you want to reach all these people. And these are the people who might care about this particular story. And this is the case all the time because on social media, we are no longer personas, we are persons. Oh my God. Sorry about that. Someone started to vacuum clean upstairs. I hope you don't hear it as much as I do. Well, anyways, I lost myself completely. Sorry. I love working from home. Yeah. So the persona is dead on social. I won't read something or consume any content just because I'm in someone's target group. I will read it and consume it because it is directed to me. So the golden rule on social is 1 subject, 1 target audience, and 1 video. And this means that you need to talk about 1 thing and direct it to 1 audience in 1 video. And the solution to this is to create a lot of video. Then this happens. You just target a lot of small target audiences all the time. So the second thing is to set your goals straight. And this is where we need to talk about this little fella. Because I hear so many times people saying, well, I don't get any likes on my videos. No, you shouldn't get likes on your videos because that's seldom the way you want people to react. First of all, people don't like videos, they watch videos. Second of all, do the likes help you reach your goals? Or do they help you make well-informed decisions? That's what you need to ask yourself. I'm going to illustrate this with a story of myself, from myself, when the likes even were counterproductive. So I published this article towards the UK audience and they loved it. The story was that you couldn't publish pictures of your feet on Facebook because Facebook would interpret it as something sexual. And people just started putting up GIFs on feet or pictures of their own feet. And there was so many likes, there was so many pictures, there were so many comments. I had loads of fun. And my reaction was to just like, yeah, let's put budget on this. Let's throw some money on it. And then it rose through the roof. And everything happened, and then nothing happened, because this article didn't bring me one meeting. It didn't bring me one lead, but there was a lot of likes. So, and I mean, sometimes you want those viral things, and they're nice to have. But the problem is, if I would have started to make decisions built upon this article, I would have been starting to do the wrong content. So the likes can be counterproductive. You have to set your goals straight. And remember, one video will never do everything, but many videos can do a lot. So set the right goal for every video. And I can tell you what your goals are, because your business goals will be completely different than mine. But I'm going to show you my goals for the videos. So in the top of funnel, we look at engagement, on views, on shares and comments, because they're interesting, because things happen on the platform and it shows something. We also look at the retention, and that's a whole other webinar. But the retention is the time that people stay and watch your video. And I would say that it's the only metric that shows the quality of your video. So look at the retention. In the middle of a funnel, it's more like the click-through rates. We look at the downloads. Of course, we look at the webinar signups. It's more practical things that we actually look at. Did we get any leads? And in the bottom of the funnels, we look at meetings booked. Simple as that. And if I start looking at the likes for the wrong video, I will make the wrong decisions. The third step is to fill your content plan. And this is something that should be easy, but many people find it very, very hard. I have met so many companies that say to me that they don't have any stories to tell. And it makes me so frustrated, because everyone has stories to tell. Start with using the content that you're already publishing. And this goes for every company, because as I said, you are publishing, you are writing texts often. You've been writing texts often for years. Just start digging and you'll find so much to create video on. The second thing is to start telling stories from inside your organization. Talk about your colleagues or your releases or your successes or your problems. You all have things to tell. And then you should, of course, look at the famous video from Simon Sinek, find your why, and think of the feeling you want your audience to have. What stories can I tell that make them feel the way I want them to feel? And of course, listen to what the competition are talking about. They might be talking about something interesting. But the most important thing is listen to what your audience is talking about. Ask yourself, what are their pain points? What keeps them up at night? What are they interested in? Try to get into that conversation and try not to make it about you. Then you'll find it extremely rewarding. One other thing you can do when you've started to find your stories is to think, how do they work in a newsroom? Because no one creates as much content and as good content as a really good newsroom. Believe me. So what do they do? Well, first of all, they have a deep understanding of the target audience. They really know who they are talking about. And they often have micro-target audience. The entertainment section do not talk to the same people as the news section. And the news section knows that they talk to everyone, so they need to talk in micro ways. They publish extremely frequently. And I know you can never to start competing with the true newsroom, but just try to publish frequently, because that's the way to learn. They also have little focus on every article. They publish so much that are just things that they did to fill up some space. They don't publish bad stuff, but they publish things that doesn't matter very much, because the big focus is on the full picture. And they don't have any fear of publishing. They have a saying that is, publish and be damned. Just push that button. And when they plan, they work proactively and reactively. And many often think that newsrooms work only reactively. Something happens and they write stuff. But the truth is, if you open a magazine, most of the stories are so planned ahead. Even if it's the daily news, they have still planned like 75% of those articles ahead. What do we do in May? Well, it's spring, so let's talk about flowers, or it's the Queen's birthday. What should we do for that? And so forth and so forth, because they can't just do everything from scratch every day. That would be impossible for anyone. So what you should do is to try to use formats. That's my biggest tip. Apart from when you've found your stories, you should try to create formats. And people think that formats are, are the death of creativity, but it isn't. It's the opposite. Because when you start thinking in small boxes, it's easier to see things. And then you can start to improvise. It's the same with a musician. You have to learn how to play before you start improvising. You have to learn the song before you start improvising. It's the same with articles. It's so much easier to think, what if we do 10 of these instead of what if we do 10 of something? And then you should have a couple of proactive formats and a couple of reactive formats. So here are some suggestions of formats that you can have. A good proactive format is to have a person in focus, an interview of some kind. Maybe you have some thought leading material that you want to have as a format that you can publish anytime. FAQs is great in video. Make trailers for articles. And since you've planned your articles, this is a good proactive format. Create micro cases. This could be planned or maybe reactive. But small cases telling about your customers. Stories from within the company is always a good format. What's happening today? Now, this is a really good reactive format. You've seen them all from newsrooms everywhere, like 3 things that happened while you were asleep. You can have those too. What happened last week? A format like that. Surveys is good. We asked 3 people about this. And facts and figures. The new report was released. Here are some great facts and figures. So a pro tip is to use our microstory formats. We made, our VP product made a huge work a couple of months ago where he created 11 formats. And if you are a StoryKit customer, you can have the video as a template. But if you're not a StoryKit client, you can still use the formats, because I have a PDF with like, what is the format? Where do you find the story? What questions should you ask? How do you find this? And I'm going to send it out to you afterwards. It's a great way to start working with formats, and it will save loads of time for you. So that was the 3rd step to a good video content strategy. Fill your content plan. The 4th thing you need to do is to distribute. And this is something that so many people forget. We create once, we put it out there, and we say, it didn't work. That's not a good idea. So create once and distribute forever. And this is something I told from a content guy in the US, Ross Simmons, whose Twitter handle is The Coolest Cool. Follow him. So you should start with one channel if you're not very used to publishing in social, but you should never stop with one channel. You should repurpose your content on several channels in several formats. And with video and StoryKit, for example, it's very easy. If I want to have another tonality for Twitter, it's very easy to just do some slight changes in the video. Or if I want to reach another target group, I can just change a couple of pictures and so forth. And always remember, I told you before, you are joining a conversation. So if your audience is talking about something and you just slide in there with, hi, I'm going to tell you about something else, no one will listen. So try to join that conversation every time. So if you see people talking about something and remember, hey, I wrote a blog post about that 2 years ago, make a video, send it out there. It will do a difference. Distribute and redistribute. So people are so afraid of redistributing their content. Well, we put it out there 6 months ago. Yeah, no one remembers. And also, if you redistribute things, the algorithms will put it out to new people. This is something we have really seen. We could put something out there, put it out there again a couple of months later, and then half a year after, and you just got new audiences all the time. So create once, don't forget to distribute again and again. Then the fifth thing, when you have published, you've done your stuff, you've published, then you learn. You learn and iterate. Because when you've published your first video, it's time to look at what worked and what didn't. And I'm saying this in this order because I want you to do stuff first and look at it afterwards. Because one of the biggest mistakes marketers do is to overplan. We're trying to get the perfect thing, as my father did once upon a time. We want it to be perfect. We want every stakeholder there is to have said, this is a good video. But that won't work. So just do something and publish and learn and iterate. Then it's time to rethink your plan and build on your insights. And this is also important because many marketers say, well, that doesn't fit into my plan. Well, the truth is you should rethink your plan all the time because you will learn new stuff and your audience will change. But keep executing. When things didn't work, don't sit on it and say, oh, I need to rethink this really a lot. Just do something else. Try something else. Try another format. Try another image. Try another thing. And look at those goals, the KPIs and data. Once again, remember, I didn't get any likes is not a good thing to say about video. So look at the goals. Maybe you didn't get any likes, but what if 10 people bought your product? That's better, I guess. So learn, create, publish, iterate, learn, create, publish, iterate. Do that all the time. And you will succeed eventually, or really fast if you're good. So a fast recap. These are the 5 steps to a scalable video strategy. First of all, you got to find your target audience and shrink it. 1 subject, 1 target audience. We're talking about a micro target audience. And 1 video. If you want to reach more target audiences with more things, do more videos. The second thing is to set your goals straight. Don't stare at the wrong results. Third thing, fill your content plan. Find your stories and find your formats. It will help you, I promise you. The fourth thing is to publish and publish and publish again. Distribute forever. The fifth thing is to learn and iterate. But the most important thing, and I've said it before, is just do it. And I know this is some company slogan, so I can't really use it. But in Swedish, I would say kör bara kör, which is like go, just go. Because that's the only way you will get to that point you want to get to. And with this, I say thank you very much for that.